Good evening to all of you again. What are you planning for? What are you planning for? Are you trying to attain jhanic state?
Whatever comes.
We cannot do that. Jhana is not now, when we, right? So, benefit of Bhavana and Metta meditation, that is the topic given. Now we know, all of us in it, for a long time being practicing meditation, right? Bhavana word you understand, right? You hear so many times, so many different versions. But Bhavana is better than meditation. When we say meditation, everybody thinks meditation, even in English language wise, it doesn't give the right meaning, right? So premeditated murderers, things are there, things, yeah, right? Similar to. So as we understand, I think, let's make it discussion than the presentation of all this academic. These are not academic. So you are here to practice. Practically, how can we gain this understanding, add into our lives? This is what we are exploring. So therefore, you should be able to share your understanding about what is this bhavana means or meditation means to you. What did you learn so far? What have you been practicing so far as meditation? It's not an easy thing. I'm saying that not to discourage you, but even though I am in my robe for a long time, I always question, did I do it right? Right? Even any monk you can ask, even Ayananda you can ask, we don't know. We go with the readings, we read the sutras, they are beautiful, there are so many different explanations. So deep explanations are there. So we really I'm still exploring it. I do practice. I do meditate. Sometimes I question, but I'm happy that certain things I'm very agree with I'm happy with my practice and the way I see things. That does not mean I'm enlightened. Okay? But yes, we all enlightened to a certain level. All of us are enlightened in a certain way, certain levels we have through the practice. What is bhavana means? To anybody? Multivision of mind? I cannot say no to anything because, there are so many different definitions. Every day you see, you hear, and now Western world coming to know about it, they create their own versions of it. They come to this side of the world and they learn and they go back and practice, it's a money-making machine-like thing. So different things are happening in the world. You know that there was a book called Power and Now? The Power of Now, I believe, yes. Right? Right. Yes. That person came to Myanmar and learned meditation and very fascinating. So then he started writing after whatever he did, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, he was there and he learned something. Because it's something very fascinating, so he went back and wrote a book. Yeah. Never given royal to the Buddha. Yeah, there are many people, they even do not mention about Buddha. They behave as if they found it by themselves. That is the sad part of it, We shouldn't be sad, but still, we have also emotions, so we feel that why they are not doing it. To me, when we say bhavana, I look, we used to recite, there are definitions. Chittang bhaveti iti bhavana. What is bhavana means? Chittang means mind. Bhaveti iti bhavana. Cultivation. You cultivate your mind. Therefore, it is called bhavana. That's how they, Yeah, that's what I wrote, yes. Chittang bhaveti iti bhavana. Cultivation of the mind called bhavana. Isn't that why we are doing all these things? We are always making effort to cultivate our mind. Let go of all the weaknesses that I call that weaknesses. We all have so much of weaknesses and many different names. So we do that to let go of that. Letting go is the thing that we are trying to do, which we have difficulty. Why? We don't want to let go. We are clinging to things, even the emotions. And even though we like to do it, we still cannot do it. Right? But therefore you decided to at least spend a few days, 10 days in the temple. Right? Just to change. Because if you're at home now, what would you be doing? In your mind, go back to your mind and see what you would be doing. Huh? Many different things, right? Huh? Yeah, you can let go of kitchen, I know that. Right. That's very difficult part for ladies, cannot let go of kitchen. No matter back and forth, you go there and come back and you're still going back. Right? Yeah, like the spade sage. The Bhante Susila was talking about spade sage. That's a beautiful book for the kids.
Oh, okay.
Yes. He not only 3 times, in that story, he goes back and forth 7 times. Go, become a monk, go back to his lay life. Because going back to his lay life was same as your kitchen. He had tools too for that garden. So when he was a monk, he was thinking he was going back, wow, this is boring life. So he was so attached to that his tools. He goes back and then start working. Then again he get bored there. And then he thinks, no, that life is better. So he goes. Back and forth 7 times he went. At the end, he explored what has happened. What is the cause that I'm going back and forth? So then he found nothing else but my spade. Then what did he do? This is a children's version I'm telling you. So then he said, he knew that it's a spade. Then what he did was he went near the river and he closed his eyes and he turned it around and then speed it up, let it go. Yes. So it went. Afterwards, he cannot find it now. He did not know where he went, which part of the water. It does nothing he knows. Then he screamed saying, Jitang me, I won, I won. By the time there was the king of the country, he was wagging a war and he was passing by. He was passing by. And he was wondering, who won? I am the one who won the war, but who is screaming there? So he asked, go and find that man. What is happening? Then he came to know about the story. So he won his own mind. That, clinging that he had to the spade. Letting go. So he was so joyful, so happy doing that. I think we may have to do the same similar things that we are already clinging to. There are many versions of beautiful stories. Stories about mind for the children. Dharma publication, they are the one. Once I was so worried. For the kids over there, couldn't find books, storybooks, nothing. One day I was talking to we had one liberal Catholic father who converted him to, because of the temple. He started coming to temple and then I was talking to him, sad thing is for this kid, I feel very bad about these children. I said, he has asked me why. I said, there are no storybooks for them. I really wish. By that time, I have a couple of books that I prepared for them. So, Bhante, don't worry. So, his wife was working at Quest bookshop. So, yeah, he went and he bought me about 14 books. Among them, there's one beautiful book that there are many books, but out of those, I like the Spade Sage, as well as there's another one, Magic of the Patience. For the children and for all of us, it's really good. Those are storybooks for the kids, yet it gives for us to practice. And the magic of the patience, magic of the mind, something like that. As that story, those are Jataka stories, but nicer versions. I think in this part of the world they are very expensive. Over there it's about those days $7.50 or $8, something like that. So that all those things are to, even the Dhamma from the Buddha is to purify our mind or train our mind. So this is the effort that we all make. That's the reason why all of you, join this program. And so it takes time. It needs effort. So this is what we all have to do with understanding, clarifying ourselves. If there are any confusions, you have to have a lot of compassion. You have to have a lot of patience. These are the two qualities I always look at. All of us have to have. We have to have compassion for ourselves and compassion for the others. With that, when we do this, definitely, patience, important part. If you are rushing, I mentioned yesterday that we have rushed ourselves like a person whose hair is in fire. It is true. But if you are not, you cannot skip any steps and go. Because Buddha's teaching is gradual teaching. Gradual teaching. Little by little, we have to improve ourselves. Like in the Dhammapada, there's a stanza saying, Kammaro rajataseva thoka thokam kane kane. Like a goldsmith, little by little, working in with his instruments and with the gold piece that he had, we have to mindfully, little by little, we have to work on. Thoka thokam kane kane. Momentarily, every moment. So it is, in a way, rushing is there. So thoka thokam means little by little. Improve ourselves. So for that, we have to have patience. With patience, we definitely have to work on, continue our work. So it is not just for these few days to be here, but even after you leaving this program, still we have to be in the same path. Question is, can we do it? Are we doing it? Right? Is that a valid question for all of you? So you have to ask that question yourself. How can I do it? How should I arrange my... So that's the program. We all have to have a program. We have been coming to temple, we have been participating in all these activities, we have been listening to Dhamma. But did we make a program for us? For you, not us. Individually think about it. Did I have any program? No, right? So for that we have to have determination. So therefore I always remind, statue is reminding us those 10 perfections. For him, he did practice to be the Buddha. For us, we have to find that those qualities, those virtues, it is helping us to achieve our spiritual journey, our goals, if we set our goal. Those, for anybody, even when I teach children, I say, for you to achieve your goal as a child, as a student, going to school. Likewise, we all can use them. In many different levels, we can use them. So therefore, Chitta Bhavana, and it's a very interesting word actually. Bhavana, Bhaveti, Bhaveti. So as I was looking for, searching in this afternoon, I was, we all know the, Bhavana, so many times we have heard, therefore I did not bother about. I knew that we can find something, for our discussion. So then when I went, I found this one of the discourses. Among many, there was one. Achara Sanghata Vagin Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya. It says, Pabassaramidang. I like to read Pali. Would you mind?
No problem.
Okay. Pabassaramidang bhikkave chittang tanchako agantuke upakkilesi upakkilittang tang asutava putucchano yata bhutang nappajanati tasma asutava putuccanassa chitta bhavana natthiti vadamiti. Because Chitta has Pabhassara nature. Pabhassara means very pure, Christine pure. Pabhassara, luminous. There's a world, Devaloka. Abhassara Devaloka. According to Aganya Sutta, this is how Buddha answers. From Abhassara Devaloka, means luminous world system. Beings are penetrate through. Their bodies are so subtle. That is where they came from. After coming to this world, the water was, after water went down, that there was a piece of land where this cream was there, cream of crust, very smelly, fragrant smell. So devas, what happened, those devas who came from Abhassara Devaloka, they tasted it, very tasty. This is go with that, remember scientists are using this primordial soup. NASA scientists are talking about primordial soup. So, what we find according to the teachings of the Buddha, these luminous beings who came from Abhassara Devaloka, they tasted this cream of crust, the crust of the earth. And what happened to them? That luminous nature disappeared. They become gross like us. What made it so? That craving, that tanha that they had. So they are not anymore floating kind of. With the gross bodies they were here. Then what happened? That's nothing to do with Bhavana, but I like to tell this story. Then what happened? He's lonely. He's coming from Brahma world, right? Abhassara Devaloka means that's the Brahma realm. So now he is lonely. He starts thinking about if there's another being. So similarly, from that same Abhassara Loka, the other beings also floating around. So there another being came. But that being thought, I created him. The nature of those Abhassara Devaloka beings were floating around. So they came to this human realm. And this is how they started being here. But this first one, as he was alone, he was thinking about, so another being appeared the same way that he came, but he thought, because he thought about it, he made it. Created it. That's how these creation stories are rising, So it's a beautiful story. If anybody likes to do that, you can read the Agganya, but there's a very long one. Agganya Sutta comes in Digha Nikaya, very long discourse, but this is not the beginning of it. I'm just sharing a piece of it. That's very interesting how this system begins. World system begins this way, and also Buddha talks about how they disappear too. In his teaching, it's like Big Bang theories, but they have in the Western world. So they are very in a way that Buddha is very nicely explaining it. But we know that Buddha already said we can see the beginning of this samsara. Everything back and forth, expansion and contraction. Expansion and contraction, this is what is existing. It's very scientific in a way that Buddha, what he shared with us. Anyway, so according to this Achara Sangata Sutta, what he said was, because Chitta has pabhassara nature, the Chitta is contaminated by defilements, kilesa or kleshas. So that is the Pali, the part that I was reciting, this is the meaning of it. A normal human has not heard my Dhamma asutava putujjana. Is not aware of this true nature. I do not recommend Chitta Bhavana to them. Because these beings are there, they do not know much about it. This Christian pure mind get contaminated by defilements. That's what he said. Tanchako agantukehi upakkilese upakkilitam. That pristine pure mind get defiled by adding these thoughts. Upakkilesha. Kilesa means defilements. Those kilesas we all have, right? Our minds are, at our birth, that's how our minds are. But as a being is growing up, he learns to get all these things that, desires. Trishna arises. So we can see that as a baby, how it happened, right? We are crying when we need something. So slowly we learn as a small being, small baby. From that time onward, we learn to survive. Learn to survive. In that survival nature, what are we growing inside? Kilesas. Sometimes even anger, jealousy, ill will, all these things are happening. Nature versus nurture. Right? We learn things from mother, we learn things from father, we learn things from the people around us, and also we can see certain things we hold on to that's naturally. It looks like he didn't learn, but brought it from previous lives, certain qualities. Right? Where did we get all these five senses? That's definitely not from this life. Your mother didn't make it, your father didn't make it. Right? They just became a vehicle for us to be there. We made it. Whatever we are making now is going to be for our boost, to give a boost to a next life. Right? We are making it now, right now, whatever we in this lifetime. So if we know the Dhamma, according to Dhamma, if we do work with understanding, definitely we can save something. Something nice we may be able to do, otherwise something not nice we may make for ourselves. So you can see two different kinds of people in the world. Very generous, very compassionate people are there. Very mean and dangerous people are there. Where do they get it from? From their previous lives. That nature is there with them. Luckily, if they if they find the Dhamma, they will polish it and nicely do something nice. If not, they will be doing something not nice. Right? So therefore, we have to be very mindful. In that sense, we all are very lucky, very fortunate. Bhavana means, literally, Bhavana means development, cultivation, or producing. That's how the translation goes like. And there's another explanation I found. It's true that we don't see that Bhavana word always goes with something else. Right? Samadhi Bhavana, Chitta Bhavana, Metta Bhavana, right? So we cultivate our mind with those good qualities. So Bhavana, definitely we have to. I think that's a good investment for all of us, even though we do less of it, right? It's hard work. So what happens, we get discouraged by ourselves. And many people find, who has time. So time is an issue for many, right? Using that I have no time, they go away, they don't practice. So most of the people, what they do is, we do easily, even here I noticed that, even in Sri Lanka, even other Buddhist countries, I believe, finding as an excuse we have no time, so they try to cover everything by offering dana. Right? I don't think that we can cover by that. As I mentioned, a few days ago, what do we do? Dana, Sila and Bhavana, the threefold meritorious deeds, mostly encouraged according to the teachings. Dana, Sila, Bhavana, 3. We should be balancing with doing 3 of them. But most of the time, we recite Sila, Pancha Sila, but they don't practice it. I don't think that many people are practicing it. To practice it, we need strong determination. Set our goal. I really want to practice this. You are not trying to show it to the other people. You don't have to show it to other people. I'm doing this. But when you do try to show it, what happens? You are comparing with the other people and you build up your ego, which is disadvantage. One side goes up, the other side goes down. No balance. So therefore we have to balance ourselves as we do it. We are not doing it as a showcase. It's not a showcasing thing. Very sincerely, with understanding the Dhamma, what Buddha was guiding us for, keeping that in mind, as Buddha said, I want to shorten this samsara. But some people, they don't want to shorten it. I want to enjoy it. Right? That's why you cannot let go. Oh, how can I let go? Because this is the only time that, as we behave as if this is only time that we have. No, Buddha said that because it's too long. Samsara is too long. I have seen it. I saw it. So therefore, I do not appreciate this. What did he say? This is how he said. This much of time I don't. It says in Pali, Achara Sangata Mattampi Bhavang Navannemi. Bhava means that existence. I do not appreciate even this much of time, this existence. Why? He saw it so long, cannot see the beginning. He said it. I believe, I trust him. So therefore, if we trust him, we do not have to worry about this. We may not think this is the only time I have. So therefore, we have to trust, keep the trust on him, and that trust is called, what do we call it? Saddha, right? Saddha we have to have. Saddha Indriya, we have to develop, strengthen it. So having that Saddha, we have to walk that path that he designed for us, he has shared with us. So we have to design things for ourselves, but these qualities we have to have with us. So therefore it's hard work, but valuable, worth doing it. Chitta Bhavana referred to here it's like Anapanasati or Satipatthana, right? We always use it. So this is, there are a lot of ways to do this. Anapanasati or Satipatthana, we always do that, don't we? But there's a depth in that we have to go. If you just try to use your breath, only breath, practicing, what are we trying to do? We make effort to be here, in the present. It's good. Be in the present moment is nice thing. We have to strengthen that ability, that skill. Be in the present moment. Otherwise, what is happening is, we back and forth, we will be every day, we will be keep doing it, but we all get frustrated. I think some of you may have that experience. At the beginning, without knowing much, without much experience, you sit, your mind goes back and forth, it is not going to be here, it's go all the way around the world, enjoying things. So then finally you start to see, I was sitting for a long time, but my mind is not obeying me, it's going away. That means that at least if you don't get into jhanic state, right? Once you go to first jhana, or second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. And the other thing we have to remember, this meditation is not only from the Buddha, even prior to that. Remember? Bhavana was there even before the Buddha. So he learned from other teachers. Yogis were there. Right? Those yogis attained this jhanic state. How many jhanas were there? 8 jhanas. Rupavachara jhana, arupavachara jhana, right? Formless and form. Rupa and arupa jhana. Yes. They had. They were very, those 2 teachers that he met. So they were very great teachers. However, so we learning all those things, we may try to, but we did not get into any jhana. Then what happened to us? We become very frustrated. That means I did not know how to meditate. But later on, of course we know that present moment, be aware of things around us. So that's what we are learning most of the time. But if you have patience and patiently you continue to do that, definitely your mind is going to be tamed after some time. You will notice that. You will see that. improvement of your own mind. For that, that's why I said we have to have patience, we have to have compassion. It may not happen within a week. It may not happen within a month. At least if we have a team, if we have a group, we can discuss. And always it's nice to discuss and share what is your experience is about. So certain days it may be working, certain days it may not be working. So once you have that, certain day experience, so deep, so peaceful, when you sit, you want to sit longer. But by next day, what do? By next day, you're searching for what you experienced yesterday. Right? When you try to search for it, you get disappointed again. It's very subtle. Remember. So therefore, disappointment can take place, yet, therefore, compassion and patience is very important in this practice. Because nobody else can show it to you. We ourselves have to find it. So we don't have to get frustrated with the other person. Oh, my teacher didn't teach me that. Teacher cannot show you that. By learning and later on making experiment by yourself. Investing your time. You are investing. This is an investment. Spiritual investment. For that, you have to have firm determination. Determination is a parami. Buddha practice. So that is valid for us too. So therefore, setting our mind, setting our goal, if we do practice, definitely we can do it. There's nothing impossible. Buddha said it's possible. But when, what's the time length? I don't know. So that is why you need to have patience. So according to the Buddha's teaching, what is the difference that he had? He was in most of the time he was in jhana. Remember I mentioned that every day in his life, after his meal, what did he do? He encouraged even the monks. What did he do after meal? Anybody? No, after midday meal, he took anyway, it's one meal a day. Yeah. After the meal, what did he do? What Buddha did? Sleep. That is you and me maybe.
Meditation.
Yeah. Diva Viharanattaya, what did he do? For the abiding the days, he went to the park. He was sitting under a tree always. He did not sleep. I remember he Janga Viharanattaya, yes. He was just walking, he did also sometimes. Most of the time he was sitting under a tree. And he encouraged monks, there are beautiful parks, beautiful trees. Go, practice. He encouraged monks. He pushed monks to go. So there are certain monks who really went, going with his word, they went, but they couldn't practice. Some of them. But as he was sitting under a tree, what he was doing? Where was his mind? He was in jhanic state. Samadhi. Right? He was in samadhi. Scanning the world? That he did early in the morning, and also I read it even in the evening too. Twice a day, he said, but most of the time what we hear is early in the morning he was scanning the world to whom he could help.
Is this Sutta or Jataka Theosa?
Jataka, not the Jataka. In the story, he said, not in Jataka story. Jataka stories we normally don't pick up. We just. But in his daily schedule that he did so, and that's how he found Angulimala. He found the Rajumala, Sopaka, Vinita. So seeing that there are people who needs little help, so he went and found.
Thank you, Bhante.
I think there were times that he did scan the world. When the person, whenever he went to the what we call Dhammasabha Mandapa, like Dhamma Hall, certain times he was waiting for some person to come. Why? He knew someone is coming today. That person is going to be benefit from this. Like the girl who was, what is that called? Pesakar, the weaving mill. Right? Remember? Yeah. He was waiting for that young girl to come. So seeing there are certain ways that he knew that this person need, and this person is very intellectual and can understand, so therefore he was waiting for that person. There are, not only one, there are several stories like that. The effective comprehending, okay. That becomes really effective only when one starts comprehending tilakkana. Anyone who has not is an asutta putujjano, then they do it at the mundane level. Anyway, the difference is that the previous meditation, what they had, all this, Alar, Kalam, and Uddhakarama, those meditation masters, they knew jhanic state, they did not know otherwise. Only after Buddha, he also learned and he practiced, and he starts seeing it as insightfully, vipassana. So, to tilakkana, what is tilakkana? Anicca, dukkha, and anatta. To see this nature. That is the thing that Buddha found. Meditation was there. Jhanic state were there. But tilakkana, this nature of this world, anything in this world, human beings, other things, regarding that. So he came up with this theory, and that is called vipassana meditation, right? Or vidassana or vipassana, insightful meditation. So that is the Buddha's finding, not the other teachers. Otherwise, what Buddha is teaching, there are a lot of similarities are there in the Vedanta. In the Vedic tradition, he learned Veda truth, right? As he was in the palace, he was tutored by special gurus. So he learned it. In the Vedanta tradition, they can see that a lot of things what we teach, they do. Like what we say, Sabbe Satta Bhavan Sukhitatta, they also recite in Sanskrit. Sarve Jana Sukhina Bhavantu. So I don't know if he was learning from, whatever in that, surrounding has. So he picked up, he learned it. But this thing, what is this anicca, dukkha, and anatta, they did not come up with that theory. They couldn't find it. They did not see it. Yes, you mean tilakkana? I'm talking about the meditation part. Meditation was there. Bhavana was there before Buddha. Right? At least we know two teachers. Alarakalama, Uddakarama was two great teachers that Bodhisattva met. He learned from them. Very quickly he learned. For that information you have read Noble Quest, discourse called Noble Quest. It is on middle length saying. First book of middle length. It doesn't matter what book now, because those days there are 3, but now we put it into one book, like Bhikkhu Bodhi's book. If you find, you can read it. I think it's number 24, Noble Quest. So it is in that particular discourse, he talks about how fast he learned. As far as it says, in that discourse it says, they lip service, they open their, just to recite it, by that much speed he learned it. Otta pahata mattena, that's how it says. Nothing much, he didn't have to learn it for a long time. Very quickly, very fast he learned. He remembered it. So therefore, he was quickly learned, and he wanted to find if they have any more else. Anything else? Nothing. That is all what I know. So you know what I know. What I know, you know. Therefore, yes, that's how it says. That's how it says in the Noble Quest. Read it. And then he says, please come and teach. Help me to teach these other students. That is how the teacher said. That's how he offered that seat for him. Without any reluctance, hesitation. That Alarakalama asked him to come and teach. He put him in the same level. Why? You are confused? What is that? Okay, I'll let you ask the questions later. Keep that in mind. So, Bodhisattva learned it so fast. That story comes in that particular discourse. Remember, Noble Quest. Read it and then you will find it. It's beautiful, beautiful discourse. And it talks about a lot of things that we do. We repetitively, we keep doing same thing again and again and again. I didn't want to go to that details because then we are talking about Bhavana today. Right? So therefore, he quickly learned and he asked him to come and teach. But he refused that offer. He went on as a truth seeker. He wanted to find what he was, came out for. But as person, after learning all those, the jhanic state, and he achieved those goals, and later on, then he was not satisfied. However, by going back to his anapanasati, remember, because he has done it in samsara, he has had experience. So after that, he going back to it, and then he come up with this tilakkana. Tilakkana means right. So the insight, he starts seeing. This is the beauty of that meditation. So this is the part that we don't know. This is the part that we need to teach, find and practice. How to, in the meditation is called, of course there are meditation masters, they do guide you through to see it insightfully. Vipassana, meditation, sometimes what we hear, sometimes, just be a present moment. That is not the only thing that we have to learn as a Vipassana. What are the benefits of, so we were supposed to talk about the benefits of Bhavana. That is the topic that's given, right? What are the benefits? Of course, as we do practice slowly and strengthen ourselves, when we learn to be in the present moment, so we apply that skill. Once we become strong to be in the present moment, that is a basic. That we have later on, we have to apply that in the everyday work. You are not going to work, sit down every day like this and practice. So we have to apply that skill in your work. Maybe you are an engineer, maybe you are a doctor. At least you have to have compassion, well-focused mind, right? And whatever we do, if we use that skill, that living in the present moment, that skill, at your work, you can achieve that goal. So you are more productive. You are more skillful because you trained your mind to be at work. Even the meditation means that we are sitting and we are watching our breath means that's action that we never paid attention before, but now you skillfully you are using it. Now you have much, you can utilize that time for the productive work because you are not well organized before. Now once you have trained yourself, you are skillfully maneuvering your time, your skill. So therefore in that sense, you become a very productive person. So you can see things better, right? Does it make sense? You can see things better. Because that, mind, by sitting there, it helps you to see things very clearly. And that clear mind can also see things insightfully too, even when you go deeper in spiritual sense. So you can see that. So enhanced creativity, improved focus, cultivation of emotional balance. So these are the benefits that we get from this, our own training. Because of our, training our mind to be here, be now. Most of the time we are not here, either in the past among our memories, or in the future among our fantasies. So therefore, Buddha said, live here, live now. That concept, now everybody using it. Be in the present moment. In the business, world, they use it. Now in the Western world, in their, economic books also they have using these concepts. Everything they use now, live here, live now. So this is where it's coming from. So by doing so, we become very productive person. So you can be very successful business person if you want to be successful in your businesses. So anything that is there by applying that skill, that's a skill that we do. But that is not what Buddha wanted us to do, right? Buddha wanted us to understand the reality, understand the true nature. So that does not mean, I'm not saying that don't be a business, don't be, do successful business person. Do it. At the same time, definitely now, since when you understand this, we can use that time to balance yourself. Only way to do that is by practicing meditation daily, right? You have to use some time to charge yourself. You are recharging yourself, like recharging batteries. Our mind has to recharge, energize ourselves. So that is not once a week thing. It's not when you go to meditation class in the temple. This is to do every day. Every day we have to spend some time by practicing. So without being lazy. Sometimes when we do, we become lazy. What we call as in the language, we call Thenamidda. Right? Thenamidda, sloth and torpor. Laziness of the mind as well as laziness of the body. So it doesn't work for us. So therefore, we have to re-energize ourselves, reflect on things, think of the Dhamma. Dhamma is a good Kalyana Mitta, right? Good, always if you have a good friend who is really have a saddha, who is do practice, so that kind of person could be a real good support. Sometimes we are supportive to each other. We are coming together means you are supporting each other to practice. So therefore, even in meditation, so that is something that we're lazy to practice. Being lazy, we will not find this path. It's a hard work. At least we must be able to invest our time once a day at least, or else twice a day, mornings and evenings. Even if we have time more than that, if you can do it, that would be so. That would be very helpful. So it's a hard work. But without getting frustrated, seeing the value of it, if we can practice, we will see the results of it. And when you cook, also you can do the same thing. That this skill you can use there. You can daily basis, when at your work you use that skill mindfully. You have to have that in mind. I am using this concept in my work. Then otherwise what happens, you will forget where it came from. You are not investing your time into your real sitting, you may not do. Like, Western world people have, that's how they have, they as if they have found it by themselves, they are doing things. So, but some people, they nicely say, these are the things that Buddha saw, Buddha guided us. So that his path, if we remember, Buddha is the good Kalyana Mitta and Dhamma is helping us to continue in that path, and we will become stronger and stronger and stronger daily basis that we have to do that. If you try to find, easy way out, you may say, I don't have time. Time we have to make. Time does not come to us. We have to make that time. This is valid for not only for you, even for the monks, for us too. So there are some things, I just, start, pick up these things from the internet, and also there are some good writings, and part of sutras were there. Let me read it for you, just what there are millions of pages in the internet, but we have to find which one is good one to, use. But too many about meditations nowadays. But what we definitely simplified versions of Buddha's sutras could be very helpful. Yeah, and also sometimes some certain parts will be very deep. It may be not easy for us to understand some, but let it have time. If we find something in that nature, leave it behind and then go to easy one. Because what he spoke was the Dhamma to many people. He was teaching and based on the different levels of their understanding. His teaching was sometimes maybe even though hundreds of people were there, maybe only one person understand it. That was the person that he targeted at. Because he knew that that person is going to be for his intellectual level, he was sharing it. Mindful activities, of course we can do that. Infuse bhavana into your everyday task and activities. Whether you are cooking, cleaning, working, bring your awareness to the present moment. Instead of rushing through the motions, engage your senses fully and appreciate the beauty and significance of each action. Definitely. So that is in everyday life. So this is how we continue. We cannot stop those things and do bhavana. So once you develop that skill, use them with those activities in daily shows that you have. Journaling practice, take a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts, dreams, and aspirations. Allow yourself to explore different possibilities and visions for your life. Write with the sense of openness and curiosity, allowing the flow of inspiration to guide your words. Nature connection. Spend time. Yesterday was the World Meditation Day. United Nations has approved Meditation Day. Every year, December 21st or 22nd maybe, I don't know, next year when. But problem here is that day is, I think Chinese calendar, you celebrate the welcoming the winter day. So otherwise that would be nice. Yesterday they had a nice presentation. The scientific things that they have explored with meditation and how scientifically what benefit do we get. And one was about, nature. How even nature, he was not a meditator, therefore that, one of the professors, and they do research, and in their research, how it is effective to the nature, balance of the nature. What is happening today, we see that, global warming, right? It's very effective, very damaging. That is not happening by itself. That's we human behavior we are responsible for it. So therefore, even meditation person can contribute into that. That is what their finding was. Even though he was not a meditator, he did the research. If you do meditate, that because our actions going to be very mindful. Mindful actions are not damaging anybody. So therefore, even to balance out the world, condition, global warming. So it could be very helpful. Our meditation could be helpful. Personally, it's going to be helpful. Collectively, it's going to be helpful. The world to exist a little bit more longer than what it could be is going to be effective. Otherwise, what happens is we're not paying much attention. We are not being sensitive. People's behavior is really warm up the world, and ice caps may be disappeared, and the water level could be go up, and the part of the world could be destroyed by water. Remember, air, what are the 4 elements? Yeah, each time is going to be destroying this world system by one of those elements, right? And Buddha spoke about this. Buddha speak about it, there are 7 Surya, Sapta Surya Udgamana Sutta. 7 suns would be there. Is it going to be 7 suns, or is it going to be 7 suns power? I don't know. But at that time, people could understood, so he used the word 7 suns would be appeared. When it appeared, what would happen? If the 7 suns rises, what would happen? No more water, and they maybe become like, Mars or the Jupiter, like that the world system has dried up. Similar thing would happen to this earth too. So we have to be sensitive. We will be sensitive to the world system, that if we do aware of things, our meditation could be helpful in that sense. So he talked about how that world system began, at least he showed it, from Aganya Sutta. But destruction of this by heat, he was talking, there's a discourse called Sapta Surya Udgamana Sutta, 7 suns, discourse of about 7 suns. Sun mean, I don't know how, but he was talking about, when I was talking about this, maybe somebody said that, there was an article called, there are 2 suns right now.
Yes. London.
Yes.
Glasgow.
Mm.
And they put the findings there.
Right.
So, finish.
Okay. Spend time, nature connection, let me say, spend time in nature and let it be a source of inspiration for your contemplations. Engage in mindful walks, observing the beauty around you as you connect with the natural world. Allow yourself to receive insights and guidance from the deep wisdom inherent in nature. Yes, there could be many, benefits from our mindfulness for the existence of the world. So in a way that we practice compassion in that, and also we behave the very sensitive way to with the other beings, other people who are living in this world system. And if that, so we're taking care of, we are doing our duty as a human being, sensitive human beings. So that is what he's expecting, okay? What else? Evening reflection. Before bed, take a few moments to reflect on your day. These are like journals. I think it's very nice things. Review the experiences, interactions, and lessons learned. Offer gratitude for the opportunities presented to you and contemplate how you can further align with your vision and intentions moving forward. So this is to observing yourself. That is your own meditation. You reflect on your things, your thoughts, and your works that you have done. Bhavana empowers goals, relationships, well-being, and potential. Trust the process, receive guidance, and follow intuition. So definitely there are a lot of benefits that we get. That's now very common things. We can hear in everyday life these kind of things. So next we have to, what we talk about, metta meditation, right? I think the other day also I mentioned, Metta, Bhante, Susila has to talk about Metta Sutta. I think there's a day that he will be speaking about. I think I was mentioning the other day, there's a discourse in Anguttara Nikaya. Buddha spoke about 5 precepts plus 4 virtues. Of course, there are so many different discourses that Buddha encouraging us to do. Out of them, there are one I remember, I was reading, he encouraged us to practice metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha. These 4 qualities in addition to those 5 precepts, which is very valid, actually. If we are really determined and practitioners of Panchasila, or the 5 precepts, we are harmless beings. We are blessing to the world. We don't do any harm, right? From us, always something nice would happen. Very mindful work. And at the same time, if we do practice these 4 qualities, metta, at least let's go with the metta, that's what we are supposed to do. I mentioned the other day that we are taking care of one root negative cause, right? Yes. We take care of greed, hatred, and ignorance. These are the 3 negative root causes bonding us, bringing us back into this cycle, and also through suffering. These 3 negative causes could create many sufferings to us, as well as to other people. With anger, definitely we are damaging ourselves as well as the other people around us. No sensitivity, no compassion, therefore we do harm to others. So, but if we do practice metta, I always encourage people, if we do recite this Metta Sutta and practice, it's really we are not practicing it yet. If we do practice it, That's really good enough. I feel that. Very pure, very clean, very blissful world. Because look at the simile that Buddha was using. Mataya Taniyang Puttam, like a mother risking her own life to save her only child. How much love is there? I told you that the other day. I'm asking that question from me. Am I there yet? I am not there. You can ask that question, yourself too. But can we improve ourselves into that level? As I said earlier, I trust the Buddha. Buddha never guided us what he did not practice. He was not a preacher. I never used the word preaching. He was teaching. Maybe I'm not a linguistic in that sense, but I like to use the word teaching. Preachers they preach, but they don't practice.
Oh, they don't practice, they don't walk the talk.
I feel like that. So therefore, Buddha did practice. What he practiced, he taught. That is why I'm not using the word teaching, preaching. So he practiced. And look at even though that's a story, look at the Nalagiri story. What did he do? He tamed the elephant who was coming towards him to kill the Buddha. People were screaming when he was going. Don't go. Even Venerable Ananda said he was coming in front of him to stop him. Right? Thinking, it's very dangerous, don't go there. But was Buddha afraid of that? No, he was not afraid. He used his mind power. He knew that he had that power. He practiced metta. He perfected metta. So that was the strength that he had. So in front of that metta power, elephant was kneeling down. He couldn't kill him. So we can see that. I trust that is true. Because of he did practice, he perfected it, he had that strong energy, that mind power, tamed that elephant who was drunken elephant. Because Devadatta sent him to kill the Buddha. Because foolishness of him, he didn't want to. He wanted to get the control of the sangha. Buddhahood is not something like a position like that to appoint someone. Like today's these spiritual positions are there to appoint other people. That is not how we earned it. You have to earn it. So therefore, he did not want to give it to control of the sangha to the Devadatta. But he did not realize it. He created bad karma because of that, due to his foolishness. So, metta, if we do practice to that deep level, I believe that power we can generate. It's not, we should not do it as a power generator, but it's not a power seeking thing. Yet, that is a great energy in that. So we could do practice. So therefore, if we do practice metta, we do not have any enemy. Metta practitioner does not have enemies. That is the reason why I use that unfriendly beings. I thought maybe that's a better word. Because how can I say it's enemy? May my enemies be well and happy. I cannot use that. We cannot have any enemy if we do practice. So, we read the sutta and then we practice it, put into practice, omitting none. We cannot discriminate. In the practice of metta, we cannot discriminate anybody. We must be able to practice towards all beings, all sentient beings. It could be visible, invisible, tiny or huge, large. So it doesn't matter what size. So all beings. So that, it's a really huge area to cover. But I'm sure that we can practice little by little, little by little. We can strengthen our mind in the spiritual path. So that is what metta, how powerful it is. And also, once we do take care of that part, then we go into the karuna, compassion. What is the definition for the karuna? When our heart begins to pounding, seeing the pain of another person, that is called karuna. That definition comes in the Pali. Paradukkhe sati hadaya kampanam karotiti karuna. Paradukkhe means other person's pain. Seeing the suffering of another person, hadaya kampanam karoti. Hadaya means our heart. Kampanam karoti begins to pound. That is called karuna. You're moved by the seeing the pain of another person, you want to go and help. Empathy is there. So you go and help. That is karuna. Next step is mudita. Mudita is, I just share because I know, since I just didn't want to stop at the metta point. So mudita is rejoice, the happy, yes. Happy for the other persons. Seeing the success of another person. But, sometimes foolishness that we have, when we see the success of another person, naturally we feel jealous. Right? That jealousy feeling arises. But if we become a meditator, we can look at why I feel jealous. He became successful by his own. He worked hard and he earned that. So I'm really happy for it. So we must be able to transform our mind into that, bring that joyful nature into our mind. So that would be a very happy thing. But many of the time we have heard, we may feel, maybe I cannot think of feeling such a way, but I'm sure that I have heard a lot people how they talk about things, seeing. Jealousy thoughts we can see when we hear. Look at how he is doing now. He's driving this or driving that. People, that is nothing else but jealousy thoughts. People have. But can they stop it? If that person work hard and earn it, so he must be able to be happy. Of course, if we know that, we become happy. But if the person is doing some bad things and then maybe you automatically think of negatively about that person, and jealousy feeling may be arising. But still, learn it, and we should not have any jealousy towards any being. It's okay. If that person is, bad behavior, it's a different story. We don't have to look at it and criticize that, but we should not commit anything wrong. This is what Buddha was guiding. If we are practicing Buddha's teaching, Dhamma, definitely we must be able to be, practice these things and bring ourselves in the right side. So equanimity is the other one, upekka. Metta, karuna, mudita, upekka, with looking at handling things with balance. Equanimity, yes. So those are the 4 qualities. Out of that, what we're supposed to talk was metta. Metta is so powerful, and not to gain the power, but seeing it, we must be able to bring. Now, what are the qualities, what are the benefit of practicing this metta that we get? So, I have this sutta here. Sleep peacefully. Yeah. Okay, that's one. Yes. Let me see. Okay, yes, this is Mettanisansa Sutta. Mettanisansa Sutta. Benefits of Metta, he talks about. Sukhang supati sukhang padibujjati manussanang piyo hoti amanussanang piyo hoti. Likewise, it's a beautiful chanting discourse. He says here, monks, there are 11 advantages are to be expected from the release, deliverance of heart by familiarizing oneself with thoughts of loving kindness or metta. By cultivation of loving kindness, by constantly increasing these thoughts, by regarding loving kindness as a vehicle of expression and also something to be treasured, by living in conformity with these thoughts, by putting these ideas into practice and by establishing them. What are the 11? There are 11 benefits that Buddha talks about. This is also in some, I think I remember that it's coming in the Samyutta Nikaya. He sleeps in comfort. Sukhang supati. Person, I think these things you can experiment. That we know it's for us, we have done it, we could see it, what he speak about here is true. So you can test it too. Sukhang supati, he wakes in comfort. Sukhang patibujjati, wakes up without having hesitation. Sometimes, we are tired, still we sleep, still we are tired, we don't want to get up. But as a practitioner, when we keep doing seriously these things, so that nature, sukhang patibujjati, comfortable, wakes up, so you may experience it. He sees no evil dreams. So, na papakang supinang passati. Papakang supinang. Supina means dream. Papakang supinang means bad dreams. Na papakang supinang passati. You may not have any bad dreams. He is dear to human beings. Manussanang piyo hoti. He is dear to human beings. Very lovable person. Amanussanang piyo hoti. Even to non-humans. He will be, I think you can see that, when you do practice. I think one story is there, Sama Jataka, Prince Sama, when he was very compassionate, story, compassionate being, and all these animals got admired or attractive to him. Wherever he was sitting, they were there. Even today, when we do that, suppose we are very compassionate, treating the animals, they come. They are not scared anymore. I think you may have seen the squirrels, they come and take food from your hand. Sometimes birds come, and that is once you familiarize with them, they know that, this person is harmless person. They recognize it. So you can see it. And that happens in the story in a Buddha story, in the story of the Sama. That is how he got shot from the king. Sama Jataka, if you find it, read it. His parents were blind and he was taking care of them. When he went to bring water, all these animals were there, deer was there. That day, king was hunting. Those people, they do go shooting for fun. So that particular day, the king was going on the huntings around. So he shot the deer, but it was taken by whom? The Prince Sama. So that's a story, and it leads later on to change the behavior of the king also. That's the Jataka story anyway. So let me see the next one, human beings. Devas, God protects him. Manussanang piyo hoti, amanussanang piyo hoti, devata rakhanti. That's what it is. Devata rakhanti, gods protect him, or deities protect him. Fire, poison and sword cannot touch him. Devata rakhanti. Nasa aggiva visangva sattangva kamati. Now I want you to answer this. How do you understand this? Nasa aggiva visangva sattangva kamati. Fire may not destroy you. Weapons may not destroy you. Even poison may not destroy you. How do you explain this? If we put our hand into fire, wouldn't it burn us? Huh? If somebody cuts by a sword, wouldn't it cut us? Huh? Definitely they will be destroying us. But I believe what he was trying to say is, we may not have such opportunities. We may not meet that kind of situations. Okay. Use the microphone. Let the others hear it.
Bhante, I have another view. It could be that it is not that you will not encounter it, but should you encounter it, your pain or your suffering is much lesser. For example, there was a time when Anthony Robbins was here in Asia Pacific, and he did a seminar. So he asked us to walk over the fire. It's burning charcoal. It's embers, right? And he gear you up by saying you're good and bad and all the jazz, right? 3 hours. After that, he said, now you're ready. Walk across burning. The charcoal is burning. We walk. About 5,000 people walk across the fire. What I didn't understand is that out of 5,000, there was a group of people who were badly burned. There were people who were slightly burned. I didn't get burned myself among the group. So I couldn't understand why. Then I realized our body comes out with some aura. And that protected us if we have faith in it. So, Bhante. So just now you mentioned that, we will never encounter that. I believe that we can encounter that. Maybe we never, some people never, but I believe that we can encounter that. And maybe the severity is not so high. Another case is about poison, right? I've never been poisoned before until one year. I had yam. I cooked yam, and then I was a bit lazy. Normally, I would use something to poke it, and then, I find out that it's cooked. But that day, I was rushing. I just cut a small piece and put it in my mouth. One day, my whole tongue was swelled, and I couldn't breathe. It swelled so bad, I was gasping for air. No one was home. I could have died that day. And I used my hand, I put salt to clean it. I thought that's the way to do it. It got worse. I just prayed. I just do Namo Tassa. And before I know, I think within half an hour or so, my sister came back. All right? She took me to the clinic. So the doctor told me, you could have died because it's so big, it's all bengkak. So to me, I feel that you will face all this, because we are normal. We are only putujana, we are abnormal. So we face all this, and but maybe the severity, because we do metta chanting, I did it for many, many years, it somehow protects us.
Yeah, there are things we cannot explain, we may not be able to see, but there are certain miraculous things also there. That's true. There are.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. We do not know exactly, but even in there are some, incidents that saved, protected people from that kind of situations. It's true. We cannot say no to it, because my ability of seeing it, I don't have that deep understanding. I'm sure that there were situations, so Buddha explained things in that nature for better ideas, but I rather like to go with that. Definitely we may, the way that I was mentioning. So we don't have to experience, we don't have to go into that kind of situations. We escape somehow. Like, in this, like tsunami, during the tsunami, some people who lived in tsunami area, but that particular day they went somewhere else. And some people who are never expected to be there, from like, in Sri Lanka, from the middle of the country, from the hilly area, they came to this place and they lost their lives. Things in that nature. So we cannot really see it, but they are also something to do with maybe their previous karmic conditions. Yeah, things, not only that, there maybe. Yeah. So for us, we can just pinpoint like because of this it happened. But, we have to see those things and see how things are, taking place. Nature, and even this time with the landslides and things like that, so people lost their lives. One lady, I was talking to one monk who went back to his home temple, and so they were asked to go away from their homes, leave their homes. But one lady, 3 times she went back to her house. Oh, I forgot to take my phone. I forgot to take my money. I need, maybe wherever we're going. But the 3rd time, by the time she comes, that huge water came and she was taken by the water. Unexplainably, water flood came out, flash floods. They do not know where did water came. There's no rain at that time. The rain was there, but there is no such place to collect the water. What happened is this, what do you call this, whirlpool like? That, they take the water from the sea or from the wherever that water, and they just drop it there. Yes.
You mean humans? Some human beings took
No. That nature, yes. That powerful, like, tornado-like thing. Yes. Yeah.
So what happened at that moment? The mother hit.
Right. See, this woman 3 times she went back and forth until that, when she comes 3rd time, that water came and taken away from them. Don't know where they were taken to. See how the nature works. We don't know what exact reason is. So, his mind can concentrate quickly. Manussanang piyoti amanussanang nasagva visangva sattangva khamati tuvatang chittang samadhyati. Tuvatang chittang samadhyati means chitta, mind, samadhyati, bring into samadhi. Tuvatang means quickly, right? His mind can concentrate quickly. His countenance is serene. Tuvatang chittang samadhyati mukhavanno vippasidati. Very pleasant, serene. And he dies without being confused in mind. Tuvatang chittang samadhyati mukhavanno vippasidati asammulho kalang karoti. Asammula means without confusion. Kalang karoti means he dies. There are some people die in confusion. It's very unfortunate. So therefore, at least, if we do practice metta practitioner, that person is very serene and very peaceful, face the death peacefully. That has spoken. I think I have seen such people. Huh? Yes. Asammulho kalang karoti. If he fails to attain arahantship, the highest sanctity here and now, he will be reborn in the Brahma world. How does that part goes in Pali? tuatan cittang samadhyati mukwanno vipassi sammulo kalang karoti aparivijanto brahmalokupago hoti. Yes, he dies without attaining arahantship. He will born in Brahma realm. That's in a sutta. In addition to this one, that's I think Sunetta Sutta or something like that. So that person practiced metta for 7 years, and then he was born in for a long time in the Brahma realms. So therefore that was not the end of samsara. Remember that. So if you are looking for heavenly realms, born into heavenly realms, no use. We come back again here, and then after millions and millions of human time period over there, but still that is not the end of that existence. So once you go away, that lifespan is, length is there. After that length is over, he will be back here or even the worst condition. So therefore, we have to be very mindful when we do practice. We should not target it to be in that kind of realms. That as a byproduct we will be. But our effort should be to realize Dhamma as the Buddha teaching. So that this particular discourse, Metta Sutta, is so beautiful one. You can recite, that's in the chanting books most of the time. For us, we do have in our chanting book, we have it. So it's always nice to remind and to be nice. We, as human beings, we do not have to live in pain, feeling jealousy of other people. So therefore, having metta is very attractive and also very successful too. Wherever you go, you can get things done. That is my experience. I see that very positive. People are very attractive to you. Maybe because of our robes when we go, even though it's in the Western world, still they're respectful to our robe. They don't know much. But whoever knows it, they very supportive, very helpful. So therefore, as a practitioners, we always can benefit from the teachings, from this metta practice. That's a positive side I have seen. These 11 advantages, monks, are to be expected from the release of heart by familiarizing oneself with thoughts of loving kindness, by cultivating of loving kindness, by constantly increasing these thoughts, by regarding loving kindness as a vehicle of expression, and also as something to be treasured, by living in conformity with these thoughts, by putting these ideas into practice, and by establishing them. So said Blessed One, those monks rejoiced, and the words of the Blessed One. Yes, so he encouraged monks to practice metta. Even he mentioned that there's another place that he mentioned. He said, this much of time you should practice metta. I think that was in Dhammadayada Sutta. One of that's a long sutra, but there he mentioned that, we monks, you should practice metta at least this much of time. We know that if you do practice, we don't have to do that shortened time, but he mentioned it there. So metta nisansa, what else could be there? Of course, that builds up nicer relationships. In today's current language, you can find these are the things that Buddha spoke about at that time, but it's always nice to have a better relationship. Better within the family, parents can have better relationship with children. Husband and wife can have better relationships. And likewise, in the social relationships, we can maintain very nicely as a great blessing. So that's very important for if we practice metta. So anything, your employer and employee relationships, any kind of relationships. So this is like a magnet to that positive benefit of the metta practitioner. So that is in everyday life. You can see these things. You can practice and see it. Instead of, definitely you can get rid of all the anger part, anger, hatred, ill will, aversion, whatever you call that, that negative part you can let go from your life, day-to-day life situation. And you definitely benefit in many different ways, many different places. You will be having a very good, positive, results. Wherever you go, wherever you encounter with. So, therefore, we all can practice this everyday life, strengthen it. Not searching, but you will start seeing those benefits that Buddha talk about. We see that in ourselves. We have seen very positive, benefits by practicing. In the sutra-wise, Metta Sutta, Mettanisansa Sutta, Sunetta Sutta, I think that's the one that, there's another one. There are a couple of Metta Suttas in the Sutta Pitaka, like Samyutta Nikaya. Yes, Metta Sutta. That Karaniya Metta Sutta and also Metta Sutta, several. Discourse of, yes. In addition to what we read, like Discourse of Karaniya Metta Sutta, in addition to that, there's called Metta Sutta in Samyutta Nikaya. This, I believe, this one comes in Sutta Nipata. I forgot. It also could be two places. There are two suttas in Samyutta Nikaya.
But can I just share my experience?
Sure, yes, please. Yeah, this is, I give you this time for that.
Just a short sharing.
Definitely.
Share our
Turn it on. Normally, it's a nice thing to share. Your experiences are helping the others.
Bhante, I've been practicing metta meditation for 5 years already. I don't come into meditation much, and that was the first meditation retreat I joined, and this Bhante actually taught us. I spent 10 days with them, only on metta meditation. And it actually, of course, morning we recite the
Metta Sutta.
Sutta, the three sutta, the metta, the karaniya, and the discourse. Then he picked up the points from inside and guide us how to meditate based using metta. That's where we go into Brahma Vihara, which you mentioned just now, the 4 points. That's why it's still very clear in my head, because I've been doing that every day when I do my meditation, And from there, actually, it is not just the metta itself. Metta is just a stepping stone for me to go into meditation. And every sitting is a new sitting in meditation. But in certain sitting, if you are in a very clear mind, you may actually enter into a samadhi stage. Whether it is samadhi or not, I'm not sure. Okay, but that Bhante always tells us that if you practice metta, a lot of things has been accelerated without we realizing, and we actually build up our metta energy. That's why we always talk about when we start. Like now, when I start my meditation, I don't start from the basic of the metta where you send metta to your friends or whatever. We skip all that. I start straight away from all direction, And from there, you can actually enter quite fast into the compassion. You feel the compassion and you go into joy. That's where the first happy feeling came out. You know, once we enter into equanimity, if it's a good sitting. I won't use all the bombastic word, whether jhana or not jhana, I'm not sure. But you will go into the
peaceful state.
Yes, the peacefulness and the blissfulness, a different kind of blissfulness. So I really think that this metta meditation helped me a lot. And when we share among our own, disciples together, when we practice this, we all experience different things. And some of us are quite lucky where we have actually cleared quite certain stage and we've gone into a different level. So we are very happy in practicing this metta. You know, that's where at times we can sit for 3 hours, but when you come out, you really thought it is only half an hour. You know, that joy is very different. And actually, once you reach certain level, you don't feel the joy anymore. It's something else will come up, you know. And when Bhante just mentioned about the benefits, we don't cling onto the benefit or purposely do metta because of the benefit. But most of the thing that you mentioned, at a certain time also, when you practice metta, and sometimes the deva will come and visit you, you know, will help you, will give you the blessing. And even it helps in my work, you know, and somehow or other, all the obstacles, I can just clear it, you know. So I'm not sure whether it's the metta helping or whatever, but it's the energy. I can feel the energy. At times when we sit down, we want to transfer metta to other people, the sick people. You can feel the energy flowing out from us, you know. But we have to practice it every day. This way, like a battery bank, you keep on storing the energy inside. Because no point for me to explain, because we have to practice the metta meditation in order to understand what I'm trying to explain.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Bhante.
That's true. I agree with what he's explaining. One thing I forgot to mention as a meditation, in the Metta Sutta it says, Appakicchocha sallahuka vutti. Simple lifestyle is very important. If you are, sometimes we say we are very busy. If you are very busy, we cannot practice meditation. At least we have to, even though busyness is there, we have to let go of that from our mind. We have to make our time to practice meditation. Appakicca. Appakicca means less work. Less work. So we are very busy means bahukicca. Many work. So when you have many work, very busy, that person, that's disturbing. So therefore we have to somehow, even though there are a lot of things, but let it go and shape around, and then we make our time to practice. And metta is very important practice. You can, as he was mentioning, we also experience so very positively, and people have experimented that. It's also a very historical point. There's one man who used it and he won. I think many of you know that Anagarika Dharamapala in Sri Lanka, who was who fighting for the Buddha Gaya. At that time, he won a case by practicing metta. He says it. Now he has to face the legal situation. So in that his writing, he says how he is that very, very important situation it was, and he was from night to next morning he was practicing metta towards one person, focusing on one person. At least he won the case. He was so happy about it. He mentioned that in his book, in his writing, journal writing. Yes.
Yeah, Bhante, I would like to share an experience. Then also I would like to know, is it a metta or not? So many years ago, my brother-in-law is in critical end-stage terminal illness in hospital. So the doctor said he will go anytime. So I invited a monk. At that time, I'm very new in meditation. I thought go to a temple, invite a monk to go to chant for him in the hospital. So the monk, I don't know why he knew something lah. I didn't explain anything. I just go there, invite him to hospital to chant for my brother-in-law. Then he said, no need, you sit down. He asked me, sit in front of him. So I sit down, then he start chanting in front of me. Then I have no choice, I cannot say anything. So once he start chanting, I close my eyes, and then I visualize my brother-in-law picture, like image in the hospital bed. Is it I'm transferring metta to him, or what is it? Then the next day he passed away. So shorten his suffering, I think.
Yeah, we cannot
thank you.
say what it is, but somehow, when we do things, very compassionate, when we do things, that is some kind of positive effect could be there. So that is how we have to look at it, nothing else. We cannot say exactly this. It could be compassion. It could be those, power of maybe that particular monk who has been practicing this as habitually has done strengthen his energy. So that could work. Yeah, so we don't know, but we can nicely. In your mind, you did that? I don't know it either, so. Something nice, anything happens, right? So you can be happy that you did something nice. There are always that many incidents in our societies, people very compassionate, doing things, very positive results. And they are like similar, stories that we learn. There are stories we hear, right? We may not believe sometimes, but those experiences are also something in that nature. We all have that kind of, experiences in our lives. So definitely loving kindness have so much power. So we only go from the Buddha's life story. We saw that, how much he did. So he encouraged us to do that. If there's no benefit, he would never encourage us to do it. So therefore, we have to have trust on the Buddha's teaching, what he teach, how he guided us. Then we continue to do so. And it's not the blind faith, but we will see the results by ourselves. The things that we do, we can see it ourselves. So therefore, seeing them, then we strengthen ourselves. So purpose is to see the reality through nature. Everything should be, for us, going with the line of seeing anicca dukkha anatta. This is what he said. That's the only way to shorten our samsara. Otherwise, very long. So that's uncountable lifetimes we will be around. But if we don't set our goal and work, so we will not finish, come back and forth in the same place. So therefore, we all have to have some program for personal programs for us, and we will be able to find that liberation what he showed us. That is the important thing. Liberate ourselves from the cycle of life and death, what we call a samsara. So let's wish, may we all have that ability to walk on the path of that Buddha showed us, and may be able to attain that peace and liberation. So all of us, as well as our teachers, as well as our supporters, and everybody who is engaged in these activities, may we all be at peace. Okay? Sukhi hotantu.